we were talking about 4 layers in the wall of GI tract: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa, and serosa. Mucosa has 3 layers in it: lining epithelium, then another is muscularis externa, and lamina propria. Sorry, muscularis mucosa and lamina propria. So these are 3 layers from inside to outside. If you see the mucosa, epithelium is the innermost lining. Then lamina propria is actually the connective tissue layer that supports the epithelial lining. So just underneath layer of connective tissue. Then you have the muscularis mucosa. That means a thin layer of muscle in the mucosa. That's why it is called muscularis mucosa. Okay. Then you have submucosa. Submucosa is a connective tissue layer in which you have blood vessels, lymphoid follicles, and nerve plexus. And the nerve plexus in this layer is called submucosal nerve plexus. So makes sense, right? Nerve plexus in submucosa, submucosal nerve plexus. Then next layer is the muscularis externa. This is a thick muscular layer. And in this layer you have 2 types of arrangement of smooth muscle fibers: inner circular and outer longitudinal. In last lecture I mentioned that circular fibers are like this. Okay, this is GI tract. So contraction of circular muscle will do what? Will narrow the tube. And longitudinal fibers are going like this. So contraction of longitudinal fibers will do what? Will shorten the tube. Make sense? Make the tube shorter. So that's why you have 2 types of smooth muscle layers. Then you have the serosa, outermost connective tissue layer. And this layer is actually visceral peritoneum. Now, there are 2 types of nerve plexuses in the GI tract, in the wall of the GI tract. One is submucosal nerve plexus that we have just talked about that, and another nerve plexus is present in the muscularis externa, and that's why it is called myenteric nerve plexus. Myo means muscle. Okay, so in the muscularis externa you have another set of nerve plexus that is called myenteric nerve plexus. Okay, and submucosal nerve plexus helps in the secretion from the glands.
Which one does?
Submucosa. Because look at this picture. This is submucosa and you have glands here. See the glands in submucosa? So to cause the secretion from the glands, that nerve plexus help. And in muscularis externa, you have myenteric nerve plexus here, this nerve plexus, and they help to contract the muscles. That means movement. Okay, so secretion by submucosal and contraction by the myenteric plexus. Okay, and in these plexuses, you have 2 types of fibers: sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay, sympathetic activation inhibits the secretion and motility. That means inhibits. And parasympathetic stimulate. So this is kind of opposite than other parts of the body. Usually we know that sympathetic activation stimulates the body, parasympathetic inhibits the body. But in GI tract it is kind of opposite. Movement of GI tract different types of movements occur in the GI tract. One is, see, this type of movement. This is GI tract, the tube. If you put a ring inside the tube and move like this, that is called peristalsis. So put your ring inside it and then move like this. That is the peristalsis. Okay? And that happens one after another, like waves. Wave-like movement goes like this. Okay? So that is what? Peristalsis. Another type of movement, this is GI tract. At multiple locations, it doesn't move like this. It doesn't move like wave. At multiple locations, constriction, relaxation occurs like this. Okay? So you are a tube, you are doing like this. Make sense? So that is what? Segmentation. Okay? And if you do like this, that is peristalsis. Is it clear? So both help to move the food bolus through GI tract. So this is segmentation, you see, at multiple locations, constriction at the center. And that happens in alternative way, like this, you see. First in these two locations, then will happen where? Here. Then will happen at different locations. So that is the segmentation. And peristalsis is like, going like this. Okay. There is another type of movement that is not mentioned in your book probably. That is called pendular. This is GI tract. Okay. And this is the mesentery. You remember we talked about mesentery like this. So this is your GI tract and this is the mesentery, and that is called pendular movement, like this. This is hanging the GI tract to the wall. So that is pendular movement. It's like a pendulum. Okay? So those are three types of movements in the GI tract. Esophagus. Esophagus is a flat, narrow muscular tube, and that takes the food from the pharynx to the stomach. It pierces through the diaphragm. You already know that. We have talked about that. And this is the cross section of esophagus. Esophagus also has 4 layers. As I have mentioned, in the wall of GI tract, you have 4 layers. So mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa. Now one thing is different here. Outermost layer is called adventitia, not serosa. In other parts of your GI tract, the outermost layer is called serosa, but in case of the esophagus, it is called adventitia. So that is the difference. Okay? Deglutition. Deglutition is the swallowing of the food. Same thing, swallowing of the food is called deglutition. Now deglutition has 2 phases, buccal phase or buccal phase and pharyngeal esophageal phase. Buccal phase is voluntary and pharyngoesophageal phase is involuntary. Now, you know what happens after you put the food inside the mouth, right? Inside the mouth, you make the food bolus, then do what? Swallowing, right? And first part, which is the buccal phase, is voluntary, because if you decide that I will not swallow, you can do that, right? If you decide that now I will swallow the food, you can control it voluntarily. Make sense? So that part is what? Voluntary part. Now once you do that, food will automatically go to the stomach all the way, right? Rest part, you don't need to think. You know, after you swallow voluntarily, the rest part happens by itself, right? It goes through the esophagus to the stomach. So that part is involuntary, right? So the swallowing or deglutition has two phases. Buccal phase is voluntary and pharyngoesophageal phase is involuntary. Since it is involuntary, a brain center present in the brainstem, medulla and the lower pons, that control center regulates the involuntary part, second part. Okay?
Which control center does?
A control center that is present in the medulla and pons. That center of your brain regulates the involuntary part. Okay.
Is it 22 muscles are involved in smaller?
Yes, yes. Many muscles. Muscles around your face and around your neck, anterior neck. Those muscles move the tongue and the anterior neck muscles. There are 22 muscles. Now, this is a food bolus inside the mouth. How we initiate or start deglutition? First, you see, the food bolus is slippery, so easily it moves. First, we push the front part of the tongue against the hard palate. This is the hard palate. So we push that. So that will move the food bolus backwards towards the pharynx. Okay? So food bolus will move towards the pharynx. Okay? Now when we do that, in the upper part of the esophagus, this is the upper esophageal sphincter, remains closed. Okay? So this is closed. Next, let's see. When the food bolus passes through the pharynx, upper esophageal sphincter gets opened. So the food bolus enters into the esophagus. Now you see the food bolus is already inside the esophagus, right? And when food bolus enters into the esophagus, upper esophageal sphincter gets closed. This is important because food should go downwards, right? It should not come back. That's why, that happens. Another thing happens here, you see, upper esophageal sphincter is closed. This is the uvula, soft palate uvula. So that when food comes here, that will move up. So it will prevent the food from entering into nasopharynx. So food will not be able to go into the nose or nasal cavity. You see here, this is closed, it's opening, okay? And this one opens. So food enters into the esophagus. Once the food bolus is inside the esophagus, then what will happen? Peristalsis, that movement, okay? And that will quickly move the food towards the stomach, pretty fast. So peristalsis starts. And you see peristalsis is moving the food quickly towards the stomach, okay? Now, this opening here is called cardiac orifice. This one is closed now, you see. When the food will come close to the stomach, it will get open, okay? This cardiac orifice, around the cardiac orifice, this is the sphincter that remains closed, that will get open and let the food get in. So the food bolus will get into the stomach. Okay? So that is how deglutition occurs. Okay? Now we'll see the stomach. The stomach has 4 different parts. What are those parts of the stomach? Okay, this is the stomach. This dome-shaped part is called fundus. This area near the cardiac orifice or opening is called, so this is the fundus part, and this part is called cardia. And then this wide middle portion is called the body of the stomach, and this last narrow part is called pylorus. Pylorus, okay? So fundus is dome-shaped part. The area near the orifice is cardia. Then wide middle portion is the body, and last narrow part is the pylorus. Okay. Now we divide the pylorus into two parts. This first portion, which is wider, this is called antrum, and this last narrow part is called the canal, pyloric canal. Okay, so those are the parts of the stomach. So pyloric part is divided into two. Upper part is the antrum, and lower part is the canal. You see here, this is the antrum part, this is the canal. So the body, fundus, cardia. Okay. Now, if you see inside the stomach, you will see many folds or ridges. Those foldings are called rugae, gastric rugae. When the stomach is empty, those rugae are more prominent. When stomach is full, right, that stretch will make the rugae more flat, so less prominent. So rugae help to increase the surface area and expand the stomach. Now, this part of the stomach is called the lesser curvature, C-shape, and this outer border is called the greater curvature. Okay, this is big, that's why greater curve, and this is the lesser curvature. Okay, so that is the stomach. One more thing is important here. In the wall of the stomach, in Muscularis Externa layer, you have three smooth muscle layers. In all other parts of GI tract, how many? Two. Inner circular, outer longitudinal. Remember that? But in case of the stomach, you have another one, additional one, that is called the oblique. So innermost oblique. Then circular and longitudinal. Is it clear? So only stomach has an additional oblique layer. Omentum. Omentum is a membrane that connects the stomach to the liver first. So this is the stomach and this is the liver. This is the liver.
Liver to lesser.
Second?
Oh, well, the lesser omentum connects to the liver, so it's two L's.
Yeah, I'm saying that lesser omentum connects the liver to the lesser curvature. Remember, this is the lesser curvature? Okay, so this is lesser omentum. Lesser omentum connects the liver and the lesser curvature of the stomach. Is it clear? Okay. Then what happens? This membrane goes like this around the stomach and joins here. So basically it covers the stomach like this and gets fused here. And then from greater curvature, what happens is it drops down like a bed sheet, the extended part, or when you put the table cover, right? That part is hanging like this. So it is like this. From the greater curvature, it drops down like this. And that is the greater omentum. Greater omentum. This greater omentum is here, under your abdominal wall, like this. From stomach strapping down like this, okay, and covering the entire abdominal cavity, the front part, okay. So that is a good protection, make sense? Because inside the abdomen you have important organs. So that is the greater omentum, and a lot of fat accumulates here. Okay, huge amount of fat. You know, sometimes it gets big, right? So a lot of fat accumulates on the greater omentum. So it is a thick pad of fat on that membrane. That fat is helpful because that insulates, work as insulator. Okay, will not let the heat get out easily from your body cavity. Make sense? So heat will not easily get in or out. It's like insulator in your house. You use in the wall, right, of the house, insulator, the column-like things. So that is number one, acts as insulator. Number two, protection, of course, and number three, storage of fat. You know, fat gives energy when we need, right? So it is a form of stored energy. Is it clear? So those are three important functions I have mentioned of omentum. Here, this is the liver, this is the stomach, so this is lesser omentum, and then from here, it drags down the greater omentum. They have dissected the greater omentum. Actually, it goes down like this. Okay.
So the test will be over just digestive. This class and last class. Oh, there's another digestive.
Yes.
Oh, no.
But digestive is not done yet, okay? Okay, so we have already talked about esophagus and stomach, right? So let's talk about we have already talked about this. Okay, now in the wall of the stomach, you have gastric glands. Very important. Gastric means stomach and glands. Okay, so gastric glands are the glands in the stomach. If you see the mucosa, you have foldings like this under the microscope, okay? And in the wall of these foldings, you have different types of cells like this. You have different types of cells, not one type. You have different types of cells. Okay, so this part is called the gastric pit. Gastric pit, where you have the openings. This is the opening, right? So the outer part is called the gastric pit, and this inner part is called gastric gland. Gastric gland. Okay. So here you see this is the mucosa, right? This is the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa. So in the mucosa you have those foldings. That's the mucosa. Okay, and the cells are here, and different types of cells you see shown by different colors, and the upper part is called the gastric pit. This is the gastric pit part where you have the opening, and this part is the gastric gland. Now, in gastric pit, you have surface epithelial cells, mucosal cells, and secrete, these cells secrete mucus, okay, mucus secreting cells. And in the gastric gland part, you have different types of cells. What are those cells? You have the parietal cells, you have chief cells, and enteroendocrine cells. So those are different types of cells here. Parietal cells, chief cells, and enteroendocrine cells in the gastric gland part. And mucus cells are mostly in the gastric pit part. Mucus cells secrete mucus. Now we'll see parietal cells and chief cells. Parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid. Okay? And chief cells, these are chief cells, secrete pepsinogen. Okay? So, chief cells secrete pepsinogen and parietal cells secrete hydrochloric acid. Now, pepsinogen is an inactive chemical. To convert it to active pepsin, you need hydrochloric acid. Make sense? So, you see, hydrochloric acid acts on pepsinogen to convert it to active what? Pepsin. Is it clear? And that helps in digestion of food. Okay, pepsin. Okay. Now, this is also interesting. After pepsin is formed, that pepsin then also works on pepsinogen to convert it to pepsin further. So it's like positive feedback. Okay. So hydrochloric acid will convert inactive pepsinogen to active pepsin, right? Then active pepsin will then also work on inactive pepsinogen to convert it to pepsin. Okay. That's why it is called a positive feedback mechanism. Yeah, it is. Regulation of gastric secretion. I don't know if I mentioned it, but let's do it again quickly. So, this is the stomach, this is the duodenum, small intestine, or duodenum, first part. This is the stomach. So, before the food enters into the stomach, when you see the food, smell the food, taste the food, okay, or think about food, what happens? Secretion occurs in the stomach, right? So that is called the cephalic phase or reflex. Okay, if you are hungry, if you even think about food, secretion will occur, right? So everything happens in the head, brain, right? Thinking, seeing, smelling. So that is called cephalic. Cephalic means head phase. Then, after the food enters into the stomach, of course, the presence of food will cause the secretion. So that is, of course, gastric phase, because gastric means stomach. Already food is in the stomach. Make sense? So that is gastric phase, after the food arrives. And then, from the stomach, food moves to the intestine, small intestine, okay, duodenum. And in the wall of the duodenum, you have the receptors. They can detect the status of the food. And if they think that the food needs to be digested more, it's not enough, breakdown or digestion has occurred, signal will go to the gastric glands back that you are not doing good job, okay? Do more, work more. So it's like, checking the status of the food, and that's why it is called the intestinal phase of gastric secretion. So in all three cases, secretion will occur in the stomach, gastric secretion. Make sense? So just know that gastric secretion or secretion in the stomach from the gastric gland has three phases.
How long does it take to digest food?
Few hours. So it varies, but we'll say few hours, okay? Small intestine is the longest part of your GI tract, and it has three portions. First shortest part is the duodenum, then second part is jejunum, and last part is ileum. Okay? And the total length is 2 to 4 meters. So extend from the pyloric sphincter here. You have the pyloric, you remember the pyloric canal, so pyloric sphincter to all the way to ileocecal valve, where the small intestine ends up in the cecum. So here, this is the cecum, and this is the duodenum. So pyloric part, pyloric sphincter is here, so that goes like this and ends here into the cecum. So duodenum is the first part of the small intestine, and it is a C-shaped part, looks like a C, like this, and your pancreas very nicely fits here. So this is duodenum, like a C, and this is the head of the pancreas. So this is the pancreas. Okay? So very nicely fits here. Now, there are two openings in the duodenum, and through these openings bile and pancreatic juice enter into the duodenum. Bile and pancreatic juice enter into the duodenum. Bile comes from the gallbladder, and pancreatic juice comes from the pancreas. So what happens, you see, this is the liver, this is the liver, this is the gallbladder here, and from the gallbladder the duct comes down like this, enter into the duodenum. So the bile comes from gallbladder and enters into the duodenum. This is pancreas. So from the pancreas, a duct also comes like this, a tube that brings the pancreatic juice here. So bile from the gallbladder and pancreatic juice from pancreas both enter into the duodenum. That's why you have those openings, okay? Here you can see here. So this is the gallbladder, this is the liver. So gallbladder, bile comes out, and this is the bile duct, enters it. This is the pancreatic duct, this is the pancreas, so enters it. Okay? So pancreatic juice and bile. There is a branch of pancreatic duct that is called accessory pancreatic duct. That also enters into the duodenum. Okay? So there are two openings. This bigger one is called the major duodenal papilla. Major duodenal papilla, where the bile duct and main pancreatic duct, this is the main pancreatic duct, enter. And this is the minor duodenal papilla, minor, smaller, where only the accessory pancreatic duct ends or enters. Okay? Anyway, so that's how the juice from the pancreas and the bile from the gallbladder enter into the duodenum. Both are important for digestion of food. Okay? Both are important for the digestion of food. That's why they need to enter into the duodenum. Now, bile helps in fat digestion. And pancreatic juice very important. Pancreatic juice has protease, amylase, and lipase, all three digestive enzymes. All three types of digestive enzymes are present in pancreatic juice. So, protein digestion, carbohydrate, and fat. So, very important, pancreas. Okay? Make sense? So, pancreatic juice is very important. It has protease, amylase, lipase. Now, if you see the inner surface of the small intestine, you will see many circular folds like this. Those are called plica circularis. Plica circularis, circular folds. And then on plica circularis, you have villi, and on the villi, you have microvilli.
Where is it then?
In the intestinal wall. Here, you see, these are circular folds. Plica circularis. Okay? And then, on the surface of plica circularis, you have finger-like structures. Those are called what? Villi. Okay? And then, if you see under a very powerful microscope, you see on the villi, so these are the villi, you have microvilli, hair-like, hard hair-like structures. Those are called microvilli. So these are villi, and these are microvilli. Okay? And plica circularis. Plica circularis. Okay? So, all these three structures increase the surface area a lot, right? If you make it flat, it's a huge surface area. If you make all those folds flat, and that helps in absorption of food, nutrients. You know, intestine is mainly responsible for absorption, so the surface area bigger means better absorption. Make sense? So that's why you have those structures. Plica circularis, villi, microvilli. Yeah, increasing surface area many times. So you see, these are finger-like structures, villi, and now if you see the surface of the villi, you see many microvilli. It's not shown here, it's very microscopic. Now, if you cut a villi or villus, which is singular, if you cut a villus and see inside, you will see blood vessels, arteries, veins, okay, as well as lymphatic vessel, the green one. And the lymphatic vessels are called lacteals. So, these lymphatic vessels inside the villi of the small intestine are called lacteals. Now, we know that nutrients enter into the blood. We all know, right? That is absorption from the small intestine. Nutrients enter into the blood. That is called what? Absorption. Okay? But fat molecules, proteins and carbohydrates can easily enter into the blood capillary, blood vessels here. But fat molecules cannot easily enter into the blood vessels. So, they can easily enter into the lymphatic vessel, because in the wall of the lymphatic vessel you have larger pores. So the fat molecules are bigger in size, so they mostly enter into the lacteal. Make sense? So the fat absorption is helped by lacteals, and other nutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, those will enter into the blood. But most of the fat molecules will enter into the lacteals, lymphatic vessels. Now everybody, you must remember, after the lymph, that fluid circulates in the body, finally lymph goes where? Subclavian vein. Remember that? So lymph will eventually enter into the blood. So that fat is absorbed here into lymphatic vessels, lacteals. Those fats will eventually enter into the blood, right? But through different route. First will circulate inside the lymphatic system, then we'll go to the blood. So our final goal is entering into the blood. So it's okay. Peyer's patches, we have already talked about Peyer's patches in lymphatic system. Aggregated lymphoid follicles. Aggregated lymphoid follicles in the wall of the small intestine. Okay? And Brunner's glands are the glands of the duodenum that secrete alkaline mucus. So Brunner's glands are the glands in the duodenum, and that glands secrete alkaline mucus, that slippery secretion. Mucus helps to protect the wall of the stomach, because you know that inside the stomach the content is what? Acidic or alkaline? Acidic, all of you know, right? So this mucus makes a thin layer in the inner surface of the stomach and separates the wall of the stomach from the gastric content. Makes sense? So acid content will be separated from the wall. So it is a protection. Now if this layer is, destroyed, then acid will destroy the wall, make lesion. That will cause ulcer. Okay? So important, that mucus layer. Liver. Liver is considered as an accessory organ of your digestive system. And this is the largest gland of the body. Liver is also considered as a gland and largest gland of the body. Liver is located in the upper right of your abdominal cavity here, okay? Upper right part. And there are 4 lobes in the liver. 4 lobes. Right lobe, left lobe, quadrate and caudate. So those are 4 lobes. Right lobe is the largest. The biggest lobe is which one? The right lobe. So you see, this is the right lobe, this is the left lobe, and there are 2 more, we'll see that. And these 2 lobes are separated by a ligament there attached to the wall of the liver, that is called falciform ligament. Falciform ligament, okay? And the ligament attaches the liver to the wall of the body wall, abdominal wall. Because liver is big, right? So it must be tied to the body wall. Otherwise it will go down, right? It will move away. So the ligament, falciform ligament, ties the liver to the abdominal wall. So they have dissected it. And this is also indication of separation of right lobe and left lobe. Now, a falciform ligament also goes downwards, hangs like this, and that is called the round ligament or ligamentum teres. So the part goes downwards, that is the round ligament or ligamentum teres. Just know that these ligaments help to hold the liver in right location by tying the liver to the wall of the abdomen, okay? Because it is heavy, it is big. Now, other two lobes, you can see if you look the bottom of the liver, inner surface. So this is the lower surface of the liver. So this is the right lobe now, this is the left lobe, and these are other two lobes, this one and this one. This one, if you look carefully, this is rectangular. That's why this is called quadrate. Quadrate means 4, right? 4 angles. So, quadrate is the rectangular small lobe of the liver.